I think really the challenge in terms of what's happening around disruption is there's so many things to focus on. When you think about the advent of digital, when you think about changes in consumer preferences, investment in technology, the advent of data, big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and everything in between, I think part of the challenge today is there are so many things to focus on for the future, but then you have to balance that with managing the business today. Because we still have to write policies, we still have to pay claims, we still have to do those things that our customers expect from us. But I think all of those challenges become opportunity. And the opportunity really is, as you look at the way that the consumer base is changing, as you look at the way that technology is changing, what are those things that are going to be most important to the customer of the future? I think in many ways, it's some of the things that are important to the customer today, but we have to be able to make critical investments that will enable the service that we provide to meet the demands of the customer tomorrow. So digital is an easy one, right? We know that the customer wants fast service. We know that the customer wants 24/7. They want information on demand. They want insight on demand. So how we actually send that, how we actually bring that to the customer is a huge opportunity. I think there are other things that admittedly there are more experimental, as you think about machine learning and big data. Those are things that will come over time, but those are really the opportunity. But I think it ties back to the challenge. I think the challenge for our industry is to know the timing of some of these things and how quickly do we need to move. I think industries are very good at solving for things that the customer really doesn't want. So balancing this future look with a deep understanding of the customer is both the challenge and the opportunity that we face. So the way that new expectations from agents are changing Westfield is to continue to stay on top of what's happening with our sole actual distribution force. And so we've been at this for a long time. Admittedly, I think the face of agencies is changing. We see consolidation changing, the look of agencies. In many ways, it's positive. We see firms as they become part of larger firms, they're able to invest in capabilities that in the past they couldn't. So we really think it's the change that's happening in many agencies that's forcing the change with Westfield. So as agencies invest in themselves, when they see the opportunity for future growth, and they're investing in things like digital, they're investing in hiring new people, they're investing in changing the way that they work with consumers, that just puts added pressure on us because we've got to be able to service them in terms of when they hire new producers. How do we license them? How do we onboard them? How do we train them? For agencies that are really critically investing in themselves, we have to be ready to respond like never before. At the same time, the way that the agency force is changing changes the way that we look at finding new agencies, appointing new agencies, compensating agencies, incenting agencies. All that right now is ripe for change. It's been changing for a long time, but the structural makeup of agencies changing through M&A, and then the fact that there is a group of agencies who are forward-looking and thinking about the future and making changes, we have to be ready to respond to those agencies quickly. The way that Westfield is helping agencies connect to the next generation, or a generation who may not want to drive down to an office between 9 and 4:30, is many ways. First of all, we see a lot of agencies investing in that themselves. They're investing in tools to acquire customers differently than what they did before and to service customers differently than what they did before. And we have to be able to keep up with those capabilities, but also support the capabilities that agencies are building. So as we invest in digital, we have to make sure that we have capabilities to help to acquire customers, but then also to help service customers. And this is a journey, right? I think we're learning more and more about consumer preferences. We're learning more and more about what not just next generation customers want, but multi-generational customers want. So a lot of the investment that we're making is alongside an agency force and what they're making, But at the same time, we want to invest in technology that enables what the agency does. So how can our platforms help them acquire new customers, find new customers, certainly write customers? If we can make that process of application and acquisition much easier, that helps the agency because the agency is more efficient, but it also helps Westfield. So understanding what that customer wants, regardless of what generation they're in, understanding what agencies are doing, and then investing alongside of it is very important for Westfield. At the same time, we're spending a significant amount of energy on our agency force, knowing that as the customer changes, our agency force needs to change. How do they find customers? How do they meet consumer expectations that are changing? How do they invest in digital and technology? So we're really trying to find those agencies that know what the future looks like and are making some critical investments. If I had to pick one word that described the future of insurance, it would be opportunity.